Good morning, YouTube fans. Admiral Preparedness here. This is going to be take 2 of a How Does It Taste in the How Does It Taste series. Yesterday I had these two identical products and the camera stopped. Not sure why, but it was kind of frustrating because I'm like, I'm not going to do this again, so let me just wait till the next day. So here we are again today. The peaches has an I hate to say, I keep trying to say expiration date. It's not what I meant to say. I mean, it says best buy. Now the best buy date is 07/27/14, and if you can see that, it's the best buy. What it is the manufacturer says, well, if this can sits unused for any amount of time after the best buy, it will degrade. Well, we're here to tell you that that's not the case. The V8 original low sodium tomato juice has a best buy of October 2015. So these aren't very old in long-term storage food terms, but again, they're past their best buy, which means these will not be accepted by a food bank. These would be, if I took these to a food bank, they would be discarded into the bin. Well, you know, I understand their rules, and I respect those rules. So we won't be throwing this out. We're going to be consuming it. This one here momentarily, this one we'll just take a few samples of and then put it away in the refrigerator for other people to enjoy. But I do want to show you that these foods can still be consumed and enjoyed well after, if properly stored, well after their expiration, or again their best buy by the manufacturer. Most of these cans sit in warehouses that do not have environmentally controlled atmospheric conditioners or air conditioners to keep them in a relatively cool, stable environment. Their temperatures fluctuate. Those are not ideal storage conditions. The items in my food pantry are well below 70 degrees. The last time I checked the temperature downstairs, it was 64 degrees Fahrenheit at about 15% relative humidity. So it's a pretty dry environment, and these guys want to be happy in a nice, cool environment. The humidity really doesn't affect the canned goods more than it affects paper items, because the paper absorbs that moisture and will start to decompose. The color is exactly what I expected to be for the tomato juice. The smell of the tomato juice is not a foot or a foul. It has that tomatoey smell. Nice and thick. And it tastes exactly what I expected it to taste like. Just like yesterday's test. Excellent. Canned peaches, again the pull top. I prefer, there are others out there who have said that they don't like the pull tops. Their reasoning is because they stack these on top of each other, causing the pool to have stresses put on it, which create miniature leaks around that seal. So if you're going to stack these, at least stack them on top of another medium like corrugated uh, uh, cardboard, or don't stack them at all, or leave them in their original container packaging and allow them to just don't stack them. Nice and bright color, what I expected. And yes, folks, probably tastes just like the day they went into that container from the manufacturer. No bad smell, no bad flavor. Now that they have improved the can technology in the last 50 years, you don't have to worry about corrosion from the inside. Uh, High acidic products like tomato sauce and tomatoes have been reported to cause the cans to break down. Uh, through some research, it's been found that this is true when you don't keep the cans at a constant temperature. But if you allow the temperature to rise and fall, that is not good for cans. So if you have if you plan on storing your long-term food items in, say, a garage, well, I wouldn't recommend it. I would keep them in a closet where you live. If it's comfortable for you, it will be comfortable for your food products, at least in cans. If you have a high humidity environment, or you live in the south, or near the oceans where the humidity is slightly higher, keeping your food containers in an environmentally controlled area is highly recommended. I can't stress it anymore. You can keep these type of foods in long-term storage as long as you don't allow the temperatures to fluctuate. If you're an MRE enthusiast like I am, and you follow the government's directions on MRE storage, you can see the chart that they provide, where the lower the temperature, the longer the food will last in that situation. Frozen is ideal, but if it can't be frozen, then you want to keep it as cool as possible, so the length of it, the shelf life, can be extended well beyond the manufacturer's best buy or use by date that the Food and Drug Administration requires that they put on their products. In saying that, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this 3-year-old tomato juice and 2-year-old canned peaches. I'm not going to eat them all because I don't want to be a glutton. One thing to remember, a lot of times there will be some sort of a minor change in the nutritional value, because even though the can is sealed, the container is sealed, the biologics as far as the degradation of the material, has been extremely slowed down. But you may find that eating extremely old food, your digestive system may not be ready to accept it, which may cause certain gastrointestinal, I won't call it discomfort, but you'll be visiting the loo a little more often. Yesterday, these two items were consumed, and the no adverse effects have occurred in those gastrointestinal processes. So you can feel rest assured that if you do have a constant temperature storage environment you could bring your long-term food storage products into, you can feel comfortable as long as that temperature, and again, I can only tell you what has happened to these two items downstairs because I purchased these items well within their use by dates, of course, and they have been kept at a constant temperature since they went downstairs. Now, what I can't prove is from the manufacturing environment through the warehouse distribution program to the store shelf, or in this case, these were bought at Sam's Club here locally, and they keep their ambient temperature about 77, 78 degrees in their warehouse there at the building location. I would love to see the federal government require a manufacture date that the item was manufactured, and then when the technology can eventually catch up, some sort of a labeling system that shows out of bound temperature. The military meals ready to eat on their cases have a dot that once that case goes over a certain temperature, that dot goes away and it becomes a solid color. I would love to see that put on a product, but the trouble is it's so expensive that the consumer would have to pay more for the item to have that information that, it's not that important, but it gives you as a consumer at least some sort of a good feeling that the product that you're consuming hasn't been exposed to radical temperature changes or somebody who's unscrupulous in the distribution process that would pull the wool over your eye, making you think that the item that you're going to have is safe. A lot of times, you go out to dinner, you enjoy a meal. 6 or 7 hours later, you're up all night because something of the ingredient or the food process, and you have trouble putting two and two together to figure out that was it from the restaurant food, was it from my lunch I had, did somebody tamper with my lunch while I was in the community refrigerator? What's going on? Have I got how did I get this gastrointestinal discomfort? And then it's up to you to either report it to your local health department or ignore it and move on and whatever. But what what I'd like to see is at least one more step in the food safety chain that says you're consuming a product that that because of labeling it hasn't been exposed to whatever environmental situation may cause that food inside of it to degrade to a point where it causes gastrointestinal problems. I may be talking out my royal proverbial, but I don't know if you got a problem with that. Comment about it in the lower part of this page. Uh, if you have stories about please say something down at the bottom so other people can hey, look, Will Rogers restaurants every Thursday, by Friday morning I'm in the bathroom all day long because I had something I had to eat there, and oh, you or whatever. Just I'm trying to get it out there, folks, that you can store food safely, but if you're not going to store it safely, at least you might want to figure out a way to uh, let you know that your food safety has been compromised. Now, there are technologies out there you can purchase for under $100, temperature probes, moisture monitors. Most of these things now are Bluetooth, Wi-Fi enabled. So the app on your phone, maybe I'll do a little research on my own and start putting this information in the description to help you guys out, so you could go out there and make your own mind up if you need to. Now, what I'd love to, after having more than one water heater fail, causing moisture to occur at my basement floor, or abnormal temperature in my freezer. One time when my son, when he was a toddler, managed to get out to the garage and uh, cause the refrigerator door to be open over a period of a couple of weeks. Nobody noticed it, and all the food in there went bad. It's not pleasant to come home from vacation and find all your freezer foods are deteriorated because the door was ajar and there was no alarm to tell you that it even went off. So technology is slowly catching up. But I hope I've been of help today. You guys have a good week coming up. And this is Admiral Preparedness here. Take care.